Hi, my name is Michael DeSilva's preacher from New Hunter Church of Christ in Richmond. Well, not Richmond, I was in Mechanicsville, but down here in Washington, North Carolina. And even though people think I'm still walking around the apartments where I live, I can assure you I'm not. And I'm nowhere to be there. But anyway, I think some of those people need to be arrested because they're imagining things and wasting you officers' time. But anyway, let me get into the crux of this thing. We put out a video on Churches of Christ group chat and on New Hunter Church of Christ. Watch both parts 1 and 2. Part 1 is entitled Reaction to AJ Video and Why It Is Significant, Part 1. And then the other one is Part 2. That's the one that talks about all the stuff that's being taught to your kids in school. And it says, and this is both on Churches of Christ group chat and on newhunterchurchofchrist.com. And also it says every parent must watch this video. I'm going to say, but it says must watch, and it says part 2. Do the AJ reaction significance? So I think I said do, but I meant to the AJ reaction significance. So you need to watch both of these videos, part 2. That's the second part to it. So please watch it. One's 35 minutes long. And I don't know how long the first one is. It's kind of like an introduction. The part 1 is an introduction to set it up. And then part 2 is the actual video and the content that'll show you what they're teaching in all these schools in 150 nations and what they're teaching here in America, right here in your backyard in North Carolina, in the schools that are here in North Carolina, as well as all other 49 states collectively, what they're teaching as sex ed to your 4th grade child. They have a book that shows indecent exposure and shows lewd and inappropriate content. It's actually explained in part 2 of this video that shows you what the reason why pedophilia came about, why sex trafficking is a vehicle, and why many children are sexualized before they're even 13 years old today. And it's because a lot of it has to do with this stuff they're teaching your kids in school. Because as we know, as the brain sees things, and as you see images that are inappropriate or things that are that are not appropriate for your child, then your brain, whether you're an adult or a child, you're going to mirror those images. And what you're going to do eventually is you're going to want to experiment. You're going to want to physically do that. And that's why more kids are doing experimentation with their brothers and sisters. Why incest is on its way up in this country, as well as every other type of sexual, demographic, because in gays and lesbian and all this, because it's taught in the schools to your children without your consent and without your knowledge in all public schools across the nation and in about 149 other countries outside of the United States. And what we want to do is we need to shut down Planned Parenthood. We need to shut down that organization because they promote sex to kids so they can get more business, so they can get more federal funding and money. And we need to shut that down because then they turn those kids that have been sexualized and taken advantage of or abused in some way and having babies and being aborted, and they try to make them into educators, which ends up recruiting more kids to that organization. That's why it's all the more reason we need to shut that down and shut down UNC.org because these people are the ones that have pushed all this stuff out on your children. And the studies indicate that it shows that pedophiles have done a nasty study which shows them recording with a stopwatch how many children. It was about a table. It's in the video, but you need to watch it. And a lot of stuff has been blurred out for sensitivity to children and sensitivity to other people that may be sensitive to that. But just listen to the content because all of it's true, and it is what is going on in your schools fundamentally. And that's why we need to stop this. This is a big bombshell, a huge bombshell. So please share these videos to everybody on your social media, to all churches of Christ, and even other denominations, because we all need to be together on this. We need to stop the exploitation of our children and the attack on our children by what's being taught in our schools with these sex education classes. And what they're teaching our kids is unreal. Where they say it's okay to have sex if it feels good, it doesn't matter what age your person is. Come on. You don't teach a child that, but that's what they're teaching in some of this literature that they're passing out to your kids. And you don't even know it. That's why your kids are acting weird. And why a lot of them don't know what their identity is. Because of what they're being taught in school. Kids are also in the 4th and 5th grade being taught how to put a condom on a boy's genitalia. I mean, they actually show this in the video in part 2. And they talk about it. They don't actually really show it, but that's bad enough. But that's what they really are doing in classes in America, in schools, showing girls and boys how to put condoms on genitalia of other boys and girls. And this is not something that should be getting taught in any classroom for kids that are preteen or teenagers. This is not something that should be part of the curriculum anywhere, because that's not something kids need to know. They don't need to know that at all. They need to just be kids and play football, baseball, and ride their bike, like I did when I was a kid. I was, sex wasn't even in my mind when I was that age. And it shouldn't be in their mind, but it is because of what's being taught in the classroom. Oh my goodness. And, this is just absurd, people. So you need to watch these videos, okay? Because this stuff that they're advocating in here is totally wrong. And it's sick, just on its bare face. But anyway, it's Michael DeSilvas from New Hunter Church of Christ. I care about you and I care about your children, and we need to get this stuff out so we can stop this and shut Planned Parenthood down indefinitely in the United States and worldwide as an agency. When you shut down the LC site, the ULC site, I think is what it's called, but it's in the video. Please, they have a petition at the end that you can go to sign to avoid God against all this teaching that's being taught worldwide in classrooms. And please, if you would like to, go to that site and sign and add your name to it that you're against all this stuff, so we can stop this exploitation to our children and this great risk. So Michael DeSilvas knew that way there's zero risk, and that way we can have the family, because the way we're going to save this country really is by our families, and by our families staying together as a family. And all the stuff they're teaching in school is teaching everything against that. So please, that's all the more why you should want to shut this down. So go and watch these 2 videos, part 1 and part 2. And like I have it there on New Hunter Church of Christ, and also on Churches of Christ group chat room on Facebook. Please go there and watch it. And then if you want to go to that site afterwards, it tells you in the video at the end where you can go to sign a petition to be against all this. Take care, everybody. It's Michael DeSilvas. I love you all. Be safe, everyone. God bless. Please watch and share these videos. Not for my sake, but for the betterment for all the children in America. Let's put a stop to all this sexual deviancy that's being taught in the classroom of perversion. How they're trying to tear apart the family and make everybody gay and do all this other crazy stuff to our children that is not something that children should be exposed to, or teenagers or anyone should be exposed to at all, at any age. And let's stop this and put this to bed once and for all, folks. It's Michael DeSilvas. Take care. God bless, everyone. I love you.